You remember last year I did a show, History of Punk Rock. I called it Part 1 because I always intended there to be a follow-up.
Okay.
But as I was doing that show, which I think you heard, it was in, I had to research to find out when that was. That was in last July of 2021.
Yeah.
As I was doing that show, which I did rather spontaneously, I just said, oh, I think this week I'll do all punk rock.
Yeah.
And as I was doing the show, I kept saying, damn, I wish I had Dale here to ask this, because 90% of the information that I was giving on that show, I was reading right off of your website.
Well, that's cool. I want you to do that. Yeah.
I don't know if I told you.
That's how you do it.
I basically, when I started this show 4 years ago, I went to your site and probably took, I'd say, at least 3/4 of the band, copied all of your text with the list of the band members and your recollections of their story, and downloaded whatever audio was there. Yeah. And that's been and it's just become such an integrated part of my files now. I sometimes have to remind myself, oh yeah, I stole that from Dale.
I'm pleased. I'm just fucking pleased that you did that and that we can collaborate. I mean, that's one of the things. After you did that show, I just thought about all the years that you and I have, hit up every once in a while, and I thought, I would really like to maybe ask Nate if he'd like to collaborate on something. And the more I've thought about it, I think, well, we're kind of already collaborating on just what you just said.
Yeah, that's true. It's like a ghost partnership.
Yeah.
Right. In our conversations like this, I'm sure I'll forget too. When I'm recording my bits for the radio show, I'm of course really conscious of that. And I don't think I've ever, sworn when I'm going like, and that last song you just listened to, because I'm totally in broadcast mode, right? Yeah. Whereas this is so easy going, really easy from up and there it goes, rhythm,
Yeah.
So and you can edit in post. The trick that I learned from the production director at KFSR was in Audacity to take if in a song someone says cuff, you basically try to grab that word in Audacity, and there's something called reverse that basically flips it around, so it becomes like cuff instead of fuck. And you have to play with it. It's like the first time it never comes out right, and also if there's a drum beat, it sometimes fucks that up. So you have to like do it, undo it, redo it, undo it, shuffle it around, and eventually it gets to where, and that little what, that was the fuck word.
Yeah.
And I learned that because I wanted to play Cleavage. Remember the all-girl band Cleavage?
Oh, I sure do.
They had
played
that
a gig
wonderful,
with them.
Yeah, they had that wonderful song, "The sun is gonna fucking shine on me," and it's got like a dozen. I mean, it's in the chorus. Fucking shine on me. I mean, that's sun is, and again, sun is gonna fucking shine on. Sun is gonna fucking shine on. And I think the production director. I have to use it every week, especially on this rap music.
Yeah, cool.
There's a song on tonight's show where the guy raps, "This shit is too sticky." He's singing, the whole song's about weed. This shit too sticky.
Okay.
My eyes closed. This shit here too sticky. A zip like 250. I'ma take 2 with me.
No. I like to hear it. I wanted to ask, which by the way, I have Audacity and I've tried to use it a little bit. I like that it's free software and everything. But anyways, I wanted to ask you about your show. How do you do your show? Because I was thinking, well, today's Sunday. It's coming on tonight at 8:00. Does Nate have to be down there in the chair, or does Nate record it ahead of time like Don Fischer?
I do record it ahead of time. And I went over to Don Fischer's house a couple of years ago because he loaned me a huge stack of CDs of local music, and got to see where he has a room where he keeps all of his vinyl, and he has his little workstation with his turntable and his microphone all set up. He has
a little studio in there. I've been in there too, Nate.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah. And he gave me a stack of CDs too. Yeah. What a guy.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. And it's funny because when I asked him, I said, so you pre-record? He was like, yeah, because I also pre-record. I've been doing it since day one. And
oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. And
I thought you had to sit in the chair. See, I always thought, man, if I had to do that job, man, I'd kind of hate having to be in that chair from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock doing it live.
And
so where do you record at the studio there at Fresno State?
No, I do it right here, right where I'm sitting right now is when you hear me talking on the air and you just heard da-da-da, I'm doing it right here using this microphone. Cool. And I'll tell you the story about that if you like.
Yes.
When I first started and my first show was New Year's Eve 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked me to do it the summer before that. And so that gave me a few months to kind of get my act together. And I actually pre-recorded like 4 shows that were all test shows while I tried to figure out how to use Audacity and how to do things. And Julie Logan, who runs KFSR these days, she says, why don't you pre-record a few? And then when you find your feet, you can start doing it live. And I told her from the beginning, I said, I don't think I want to do it live. I'd always like to do it from home because I'd always like to have the ability to edit.
There you go.
I grew up listening to Dr. Demento's show, which felt live, but it couldn't have been live. It was too slick. Everything was lots of little sound effects, guest stars. It was a finely crafted show. And I wanted to do something like that. Then, however, the pandemic happened and everybody had to do it from home. Right. Most of the DJs, besides me and Don Fischer, most DJs would do it live in the studio. Or they had the option of pre-recording in the studio also.
Yeah.
But once the pandemic happened, everybody had to find a way to do it from home.
Wow.
Still working on getting the mic just right. I'll hear the show like last year. I said, ooh, I think I was too hot. I think everything was a little too hot. And so back off next week. And I really learned about doing that from when I was on that Swedish reality TV show. They would sit you down for something they called syncs, short for synchronization, I guess. And it's like whenever you're watching a documentary or reality TV show, you always get those shots of the person, they're kind of to the side, their name is right over here. And they're saying, wow, that was really tough. We didn't know what we were getting into when we walked in there, Well, in Sweden, they call those syncs. And so they'd say, we'd be on a break and they'd say, Nate, we want to do a sync with you. So they'd take you to some other location, set up the camera and sound and everything and film. And they would talk to you for 10 or 15 minutes. And then you'd watch the show and you'd see maybe 30 seconds of that actually on the show. They would find the one thing or maybe a minute, but they would find the one thing that I said in that 10 or 15 minutes that was relevant to the storyline they were telling.
Yes.
And that's what you would see.
Sure.
And I kind of learned from observing that, from being part of the process and seeing the final product, how to do that with the interviewees that I've had.
Right. Yeah.
The only shame is
I'm there with you.
The only shame is that sometimes, like Craig Daniel, we were talking about a musician who'd passed away, and Craig talked for 18 minutes and it was all gold, but I couldn't use 18 minutes. That's a third of my show.
Yes.
In the end, I cut it down to like 4 and I interspaced it in between a couple of songs.
Yeah.
But it was heartbreaking, Dale. It was heartbreaking. I kept editing each piece and making it shorter and shorter and shorter. Had to leave so much good stuff. So,
but it looks cool because you got all those books. It makes you look smart.
It does. I need something to make me look smart. And it's funny. I did a Zoom call like this just a few days ago, and Tony Imperatrice put it on his YouTube show just this morning. I didn't watch it.
Oh wow! I got to go look at that.
Yeah, it's on YouTube on Tony Imperatrice's channel. It aired at 11 this morning, but we taped it a couple of days ago.
Let's do it.
I'm 100% in. I'll let you be my focus right now is on that little History of Punk radio show. And so as far as other plans that you have, I'll let you be the point man on that.
Okay. I'll be talking to you.
Consider me all in. Okay. Take care.